Can you tell us anything whatsoever?
I know you just give us. One more station.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am the Reverend Ralph, joined once again by my good friend Kyle, aka the Beer Buddy.
What's going on, everybody?
And we have with us Josh and Rowan from Fist. And we are here to do the quick question quarter today. That is spelt with Q's, not K's, because we don't roll like that. But the whole point here is we're just going to go through some rapid fire questions for our guests and dive into their musical mental minds and figure out what got them started, what inspires them, and what keeps them going when it comes to music. So without further ado, gentlemen, we will dive in. What was the first instrument that you learned to play? Vocals does count. Recorder when you're in school does not.
Drums.
Oh,
Okay.
Drummer at heart, and then I wasn't allowed to play drums at night time, but I still wanted to play music, so I was like, oh, I'll play guitar. And had a bunch of bands, tried to start bands with guitarists, and the guitarists were all fucking annoying and didn't want to write anything. So I was like, fuck it, I'll take that position and write both parts. And then I found a drummer.
Hell yeah.
I like it.
Rowan's, I think, was the flesh flute.
Oh, the blue vein trumpet.
Rude. No, it's actually way worse than that. It was bass.
Oh,
Yeah,
At least I had the decency to start on piano, mate. Can't,
Hey, look, I've got a performance degree in bass, literally collecting moths on the wall. It is actually full of moth corpses. It's so funny. It shows how much
really?
music it has.
A performance degree in bass is probably about the only thing more worthless than a Bachelor of Arts. So here you go.
You're not wrong, man. I don't think that's gonna help on any job application, man. Yeah, let me be a cashier. I'm horribly unqualified.
so I'm sorry.
Genuinely though.
You can't cashier here. You don't want your base degree.
Any that sort of stuff is very, very respectable
Yeah.
for a bass player.
No.
I'm allowed to rip the shit out of you for that. All right.
You know what I have a degree in? Sweet fuck all. So you're 1 degree ahead of me, champ.
Man, I got the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Hextet to prove it. But I'm smart about it. I'm a musician. I'm never gonna have to pay that shit back.
Yeah. If you don't earn enough, they can't make you pay it back. See?
Yeah. And if you
Loophole.
do write that big hit single, you just be able to pay it off in one go anyway.
After the label and
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. What was the first album that you purchased?
All right, Josh is thinking about this.
Because I think I didn't purchase something until late, fucking teenage years.
Mm-hmm.
But I always got fucking LimeWire and burnt stuff, and I think my main one that I'd go for would probably be the Tom, Mark and Travis show, or probably an Eminem album.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah,
And I think that's actually a first, the Mark, Tom, and Travis show. I think that's the first one.
Really?
Yeah. No one's ever said that.
But it's so good.
I know.
slaps.
We've definitely had people say Blink.
Yes.
For that was the first album,
Albums.
one of their albums. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I think just being young and hearing all the dick jokes and stuff, it was like, oh, I'm listening to some of the
Dick.
Well, I remember,
Nothing's changed.
what was it? Because my brother was the punker, I was the metalhead. Right? So my brother, I think he got that album and chucked it on in my mum's car. And mate, my mum lost it. Nana. She's like, you can't listen to this. No, I'm taking it off you. My brother, no, don't take it off me. Oh, it was great to be young again.
I think early teenage years, mum, when I started listening to Parkway and real heavy metal and shit like that, when I first started getting into metal, she sat me down one day and she's like, I'm just a bit concerned about all the stuff you listen to. It all just seems to be emo and about killing yourself and stuff. And I looked at her and I was like, oh, your songs are about sex and rape and drugs. And she just goes, Yeah, fair enough, actually. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
And never said anything else about it again.
wow. That was
Hey,
was
that's pretty
very
cool. That's pretty cool. Shout out to Mum. She's pretty cool.
yeah. That
Yeah,
was, you know what? Score on for admitting when you lost that battle there.
no, she's been incredibly supportive there, always
The whole
with the
time.
music.
That's good.
Hell
That's
yeah.
good.
What
Makes a
was
massive difference.
your first one, Rowan?
Honest.
First one that I downloaded or had downloaded for me, I would have been like 8 years old, and it was Green Day American Idiot.
Oh,
Right? It makes sense. It was like the year that it came out, it was massive, and I was obsessed with it. I still think it's a great album. I don't listen
it
to it
is.
anymore, but like it's so well put together.
Look, I was never
Like
the biggest Green Day fan, but that album was I agree. It was a great like
Iconic.
it was
They write
iconic,
great songs.
great songs, great production. Like as a package, as a whole product, it was really, really solid from start to finish. Like great example of just everything lining up and being done perfectly.
well, and like from my perspective, being a little bit older, a little bit wiser, I can say like American Idiot is Green Day's like version of Metallica's Black Album. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
big
It's their
commercial hit.
pinnacle.
And yeah, like it's their big commercial hit. It's what really broke them through to like mainstream. Good on them. The first album that I ever bought was Airborne Running Wild.
Mm.
And I
Really?
think that to this day I've never listened to it.
Oh, really?
Hey, look,
Bought it,
I
didn't
don't
listen
own
to
it. I don't listen to Airborne, but if they're playing a show, I'm always if they're playing on a show I'm going to, I'm always watching them
Yeah.
because like
Yeah, I get that.
their live show is just fucking unreal. Like they absolutely fucking just rip it up every single time.
Yeah, bet.
All right, what was the first live concert you attended?
Oh, Ro's got a better one for this. Go.
Yeah, look, this is what got me into playing bass, man. I'd picked up my mum's old acoustic because she was in bands and stuff. She was a great singer. Um and tried it out, didn't work, and for my birthday, this is, back in what, 2010, something like that. Um Dad got me tickets to Weird Al,
Oh.
first ever concert. It was at the Newcastle Civic Centre. It was fucking unbelievable.
Fucking go,
And
Dad!
like,
Hell yeah!
yeah. Like I was super into Weird Al, still am. Like, man knows
Nice.
how to put some shit together. But what I didn't expect was like his bass player is a fucking gun bass player. He is one of the best, hands down. And I like Weird Al's up there doing his thing, and I'm like, at a certain point, I'm not even looking at Weird Al.
Well, you
I'm
think
just
about
honed
it.
in on the
You think about it. Like the guy, the band, Weird Al's band has to the amount of different the variety in the covers that he parrot the songs that he parodies. Like
yeah.
there's such a variety in styles there that the guy, whoever's in the band, has to be able to play all of those different styles.
Mm.
And so yeah, I have no doubt like that whoever was up there playing it would have to have been
I think his name is
incredibly
John
impressive.
Steely. I
Yeah.
think his name is John Steely.
Okay.
Um, yeah, absolute weapon. And yeah, I'd already gotten a birthday present. On the way home, like, I need a bass. I got the standard, the legacy kit with like the little practice
Mhm.
amp and everything. And man, yeah, that sent me on the road to self-destruction slowly over a number of years.
No, man, that's an awesome story. I like
That's
that.
cool
I like
though.
that.
That's really, really
Yeah,
cool.
such a good first concert. That's
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's mad. That no one has ever said that on. Yeah, Weird Al. That's a definite first.
Yeah. 4 seasons of the show, no one's said
Yeah.
Weird Al yet as their first concert. So there you go. I like it when we can get a first after all this time. That's still
Yeah.
really good. What about you, Josh?
I don't think this is going to be a first, but this is probably a regular one. Parkway.
Oh, it is. It is.
Back
But
just
ooh,
before, it would have been, I think, just the first tour for Horizons, just as they released Horizons.
oh,
So it was when they
oh,
were really starting to fucking ramp up. But it was a small show at the Roundhouse in Sydney, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what we mean. Like we talked on the podcast about bands that got out there and did the hard yards and put the work in touring. Like perfect example, you know, they were out there building their name, building their reputation, getting out there in front of, and a lot of, you know, all ages and under 18s shows as well. Really getting, because that's what you got to do. Like the fans that you want to be playing to and getting on board are the fans that are in that like 15 to 18 age bracket, because they're the ones that will
Lifetime.
They'll be your fans for life if you can get them in that bracket. Because then they'll be they're excited because, you know, there's just not that many shows in that cater to that have those kind of age groups going into them anymore. But B, it's like, yeah, if you can capture their attention and their energy and the excitement, that's now a core memory for them. You know, you very well may be the first live show that they've gone to, and then they see this fucking band that's just up there ripping it up, having a great time, making them feel a way that they've never felt before. And then all of a sudden, especially nowadays when they can look up your shit online and find it so easily and be following what you're doing, you know, and then once they're 18, they're fucking out there going to all of your shows now. And they will be on board with your shit forever. Like there was a band for me like that. And I mean, I wasn't, to be fair, okay, I wasn't like under 18 when I first saw them, but I was, you know, pretty much just not long gone 18. And, you know, I went to see a different band, but the opening band on the lineup was called National Pornographic. And they were like, great band name for starters, just like loved it. Sick. And they were this kind of rock, electronic kind of fusion thing, with like lots of real like funky bass lines, but then there was like still some riffs going on there. They had a DJ that was putting like samples and scratching in there. They had a percussionist in addition to their drummer who was doing like backing vocals as well, and just lots of fun. If you can find their stuff, it's great, because they were the kind of band that sounds like everything but also like nothing else. And I was hooked. I was immediately hooked. I was like constantly obsessing. Like I remember going to their website and they had like little teasers from the album that they were working on. And I just remember playing those like 30-second teasers of the few songs that they had there over and over and over again, just so I could like get something more from these guys. And that's, if you can get, you know, if you can, I was going to say if you can get the kids, but I don't want to, that's not the right wording. If you can get them hooked on your music, if you can get them hooked on your music in that age bracket, when they're at that sort of point in their musical journeys, they will be your fans for life. So it's a great Parkway Drive is the 100%. Fact that so many people say Parkway Drive to this question is like, that's it. You know, I mean, they're fucking, they're playing a
generational band now, bro.
They're getting to play a fucking show at the Sydney Opera House with a fucking orchestra.
That's so good.
For an Aussie hardcore band to do that is like, that's just fucking who no one's done that before. Not from, you know, I can't think of an Australian heavy band that's done that before.
No. And like that sort of connection is exactly what me and Josh found so like rewarding from doing all those DIY shows for years. Like, because it was all that sort of stuff. Really, like, yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. It's a great way to build that sort of connection there. Okay. What's an instrument you've always wanted to learn but haven't yet?
It's got to be piano, right? Like, I mean, like it's got to, like, if you're talking about versatility on any instrument, like you can surely go further with piano than anything else. Oh, and also I'd like to learn how to sing one day.
Yeah, you did that already.
But practicality reasons, yeah, piano, because of the chords and just the range that you've got.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want a left field one, I've always wanted to learn the koto, the Japanese fucking. It's like a Japanese string instrument that they bend with.
Oh yeah. I think I know
is that the one where you need two people to play it?
No. So it's like a guitar with like the frets in the middle, so like one fret in the middle.
Yeah.
Like you pluck on one side and you bend the strings with the
On the
other.
yeah, and that changes the
mad.
pitch of the things. Yeah. I know the one.
And
Yeah,
they have like fucking 30 strings or something like.
yeah. That's pretty
mad.
cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, yeah. Look, like piano is an answer that we get a lot because like there is so much you can do there, right? And not only that in terms of just that instrument, but these days as well, the prevalence of MIDI keyboards and the quality of what you can get instrument wise there. Realistically, if you can play a piano, you can play any instrument almost. To the satisfaction, to for the purposes of recording, for most people, you can play that instrument with that. So it's but no, there's some great ones there. All right, if you could pick one big band or artist to open a show for, who would it be?
Do we just say Metallica or?
Yeah, I mean,
you
well,
each get a pick. You each get a pick.
It's,
but,
it's
uh,
not. It's
Metallica's
not
a
like,
classic,
it's not,
man.
It's not like It's not like you're trying to win the two dudes talk music. Fucking quick question quarter. There's no right or wrong answer. Pick with your heart.
All right. Honestly, I'd fucking love to open for Parkway.
Yeah, there you go.
Plain and
Yeah,
simple,
that's
Aussie
a good
fucking icons.
Yeah.
And when I saw them live that first time, it was like, oh, I always expected them to be like super emo and have the long hair, the fringe and stuff. And they come out in boardies and they're just surfer dudes. I'm like, oh, you can play whatever you want and be whoever you want. It doesn't have to be.
That was half their shtick. You know,
Yeah.
they were the hardcore boys from Byron Bay, and they came out in thongs and board shorts and singlets and VBs and carried on and tore that shit up. And
And
they've been doing so for the last 20 years.
that's who we are. We're unapologetically ourselves. So playing with another Australian icon, I think for me would be
Yeah,
a big one.
nice.
Yeah, no, Parkway 100%. That is top tier pick. We've been lucky. We've been able to play with like the Porkers, Area 7. If we're going Australian, man, I think that we would fucking go off at a living end gig.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Like
None
that
of
would
them
be
are-
fun. That would be a really fun one. That would be so cool.
you know what? Now we're talking. Now we're talking. I'd love to see the chats and fist.
Mm.
I feel like we would not go well on a bill with the chats somehow. I don't know why. Like they
It's
seem
because of
like
the content we've watched. We've watched a couple of their interviews and
Okay.
like they're too cool for us, man.
Okay.
Actually,
okay.
I having just seen them this past weekend at Knotfest, I reckon you guys would go really good on a bill with Enter Shikari.
Yeah, true.
I think that'd be
true,
a good.
true.
I think a lot of their fans would probably dig what you guys are doing. I
I
think
haven't
that'd
listened
be.
to them in years. I thought they were. Well,
I tell you what, like seeing them at Knotfest, that was my first time ever seeing them live. I'm not super like into a lot of their music. I know they've got their name and that they're popular, but fucking yeah, full send those boys. They do not leave anything behind when they're up there. Like a lot of respect for that. Okay, who is a band or artist that you're listening to at the moment that you believe is underrated and deserves more attention?
Bisp.
Other than yourself.
Other than Fist.
You fucking
yourself.
loser. Fucking loser. We are rated exactly where we should be.
Fuck, what was that band? Shit, you go, Rowan. I need to figure out what that band was that I've been listening to.
Man, look, I listen to a lot of stuff that's like, yeah, a little bit off center from what we play, because like I don't know. I think that you can listen to like all the Frenzel in the world, which we also do, but like at the end of the day, you're just gonna end up sounding like Frenzel. Like
Yes.
so for me, he's doing really well at the moment. He's signed to Epitaph. Ro Capera, I think is how you pronounce his name, Capara. I've only seen it written. Really, really cool, like indie artist, has all these songs about how much like capitalism sucks, which I vibe with. And he's just got a nice voice and whatnot.
What was the
on my
name?
heavy
Sorry,
rotation.
Ro Capara.
Yeah. RO E, and then the
Yeah.
rest with a K.
Right, yeah, there we go. Cool.
I
That too.
cannot recall the one that I've been listening to, but I'm gonna go for second up and Ren from the UK.
Ah, Ren.
Both Ren.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, I've followed his stuff since probably 10, 15 years ago when he first started. And I've been getting that whole, I listened to it before it was cool because he's just been getting so popular. And
Yeah,
a few people have started to say it sound a bit like him sometimes.
yeah, we've done a bit of reactions. We've done a couple of reactions to some of his songs, and
Yeah.
They're intense.
they are intense, and the fan base is super
Even more
dedicated.
intense. They're so cool.
Like we love the fan base, and like we like when we do
Love
our reactions
renegades.
and people come in on the comments and give us all this extra content, like context and understanding about what's meaning behind stuff that we maybe didn't pick up there. So, and the other thing I do like as well is like his fan base has a name. Like the Renegades is what the thing.
That's
So
pretty
Didn't
good.
know that one.
if you can give your fan base a name, I think that's a nice little thing. So I mean, you guys, it might be a bit iffy calling your fans, I don't know, like fisters or something. That's probably not
The fingers.
the finger. Oh, the finger. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
The finger. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could work. That could work.
The
The
phalanges.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
You got that's like the chud fucking section of
Yeah.
your fan base. You just call them the thumbs.
Don't be a thumb. Be a
Don't be a
finger.
Yeah,
fucking
don't be a
thumb,
thumb,
bro.
be a finger. Cool. So
Oh,
that's
knuckleheads. That's good.
Oh, knuckleheads.
That's
yeah.
that's pretty good.
even
Yeah.
better. Yes. Yes.
That's why we
See?
do the shit on stage.
Yep.
Yes.
There you go.
And then you can be like, just as a safety precautions, only fist with your thumb in. Nobody wants to fist with a thumb out.
Moving swiftly on. What is something people may be surprised to learn about you?
I had a heart attack.
Nobody's
Jeez.
surprised to know. It's on the press release, dude.
Where,
It wasn't
I
one of
forgot
them.
about that.
was it like what's the story there? Was it just like just fucking
I
like some
was born with something extra in my heart, and it's
Oh.
lucky it happened while I was young.
okay. Wow. All
But
right.
that was good content for the band.
Yeah, I mean, he did spend a week in hospital. It was very scary, but like, it's so funny. I got the call, and like from Emily, Josh's partner, and she's like, Josh is in hospital. Like, he just had a heart attack. I'm like, but he's in hospital, right? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, well, he's fine then.
I was fine pretty quickly, but while they were wheeling me into the ambulance, I was like, "Quick, Emily!" Like I'm all strapped up to the thing. I'm like, "Quick, get a picture for the boys." And the nurse lady goes, she's like wheeling me in. She goes, "Oh, you've got children." I'm like, nah.
Man, I think the reactions that we have as men to health issues sometimes is so bizarre.
It's disgusting.
Like my grandfather, many years ago, he's passed now, but many years ago, he had a stroke while he was in church, and he didn't immediately go, "I'm sorry to bother everyone, I'm having a stroke." He waited until the service finished and then drove himself to the hospital.
That's some hard fuckers, man.
And that's
That's a bit-
about all you need to know about my grandfather to know the type of person that he was. So
That's awesome.
like, yeah, I think we can. Who was it? We had what was the
I've
band
got
we had
Bill's-
the other
I've-
week that had the guy put his fucking foot through the stage or something, or like he did like a spiral fracture on his fucking
Yeah,
leg.
radial for
the radial fracture with his leg while he was fucking performing or
put
some
his foot
shit.
through a stage. Yep,
Like,
yep.
yeah,
I got Bell's palsy. I was sitting here drinking a beer. I was doing an interview when I was doing the beer buddy thing, and I held a sneeze in, and my left hand side of my face went numb. I didn't realize I was drinking a beer. I was like dribbling it. I'm like, I must be pissed because I was like 4 long necks deep.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, well, calm this down. I went to work the next day and I've looked in the mirror and I'm like, my left eye isn't blinking. Like, what's going on here?
That's fucked.
That's so good.
Then
That's awesome.
Another day went by and the missus didn't notice, and I went, "Babe, is this normal?" And my wife's an RN, and she's like, "Go to the doctor. Go to the hospital now. Have you had a stroke? Your face isn't working."
That's cooked.
That's wild.
That's cooked.
Yeah. It's the
It's such man energy, just like oh,
yeah, yeah. But then but then we get like
Dude.
then we get a little head cold, and we're like fucking we're like dying.
Don't touch me.
You
I
know.
can't move.
Yeah.
I've got the sniffles.
I'm pretty bad with the man flu.
I'm
Yeah,
shocking.
same.
I'm shocking.
I've got a theory.
I'm
I reckon
so
it's because men are supposed to be tough all the time. Like that's the the societal thing or whatever. And then when we're sick, it's against our will. So it's like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna bask in this and milk everything it's worth.
Makes sense. I'll go with that argument going forward. I
Yeah.
think it's just this is my opportunity not to have to be the strong, provider, like head of the household type thing. Just let me be a sook for a little while.
Yeah. I put it down to 90% of the time it's because we know deep down inside we don't take care of ourselves properly. So we know the medical issues are all our fault. When you get sick, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you fucking do your leg because you're out, like, if you break your leg because you're running around being a bit of a dickhead, you're like, yeah, okay, that's on me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. You get the flu because someone's fucking coughed without covering their mouth on public transport. It's like, it's not that one's not really my fault, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
that's not on me.
Let me have this one. Bring it back though, Rowan. What about you? What's something people may be surprised to learn about you?
Man, no, like it's really funny. We like as Fist, we keep pretty much everything on the surface. That we don't have any we don't really have a lot of surprises. I think the only thing that would surprise people is that like I'm not like I don't have a carer. Is pretty much what would surprise people.
It's true. Like you see him like walk into the pub and he's got this fucking skullet and he's just looks like a fucking character. And then you get to know him and the cunt like fills out forms and writes like essays for fun. He's just
He's
so good with all
intellectual.
the admin stuff and like just really, really switched on, but you wouldn't guess it.
I think it's just severely undiagnosed autism, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's all it is.
Oh, don't you worry.
I cannot.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a secret.
Might not be officially diagnosed, but it's.
But there's some suspicions.
There's
rumors.
There were never any signs. Narrator, there were signs.
There was signs. There was a lot of signs.
All right. If you could,
Do you want to see my music degree?
Yeah, that's the diagnosis right there. If you could only listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Fizz?
Oh, I got this.
Yeah, the Fist Live album. Yeah.
I'd probably still have to go with Tom Mark and Travis Show again.
Oh,
It
yeah.
doesn't miss.
You know what? To be fair, if I'm stuck on a desert island, at least I'm going to be laughing at some point.
And
Yes,
it's
it would be
long.
nice to get a blowjob on this desert island, Mark. It would be nice.
Look at this. Hey Mark, look at how if I rub it, I can make it bigger. Best album.
See, mine would be different. Mine is, and I genuinely believe this is one of the best albums of all time, and I go to bat for it constantly. Josh knows what I'm going to say.
Okay, this is going to be a controversial pick, is it?
It's the Black Parade.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
You know what?
My Chemical Romance.
I've just been listening to Ro Kapara, and I completely understand exactly why he's picked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like honestly, I was never that much into a lot of the emo side of stuff. But
I've never listened to another My Chem album.
Yeah, and I wasn't even that. I was into like a couple of songs off the album before that. But when Black Parade came out, that whole album, start to finish, is just does not miss. It is a musical first, and a rock album second. It truly is like it belongs to be. It deserves to be put in the same conversation as pretty much any like great like rock operas or whatever. Like it's on par with that. This the way it brings motifs back and tells the story across the thing. It starts at the end of the story and then goes back to the beginning. Like it's just the way that 100% would agree with that. That's a great fucking pick.
And like this is what's really hard to explain to people who like, because again, it's the only My Chemical Romance album that I've ever listened to,
Mm.
and I'm like, yeah, I've recently started turning off shows when I think they've peaked, so it's like, yep, I'm good, bail out while it's still good.
Mm.
It is start to finish a fucking masterpiece. Like, and even though it gets all the praise in the world, I still think it's underrated.
Mm.
It is as close to fucking flawless as I think you could get a whole album.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's the thing. Like, whenever you froth over that album, people assume you like some fucking like some like closet emo or whatever, or like you do. It's like no, that's like the one thing from these guys that I rate this highly. It's just somehow like I'm sure they're great. I'm sure they're great people for the most part. They're very, very talented. They've had awesome careers. But that album is like punching so far above their weight.
Yeah.
In a way that it's
what
just like,
was it? It was their like second or third album or something like that.
Yeah. It was like early on.
Yeah.
It wasn't too deep into their life cycle, and it just hit.
Somehow those guys just the pieces came together and they put out a work of art that is, for me, just like unequivocally miles above anything else they've ever done. And
like,
I think
if
for
you're
them,
it's even hit meme worthy.
It's got to be
now.
I think as an artist, that's a really, really hard position to be in, because if you do something so like of such high quality at that stage in your career, like following that up is fucking, you can't. There's no way you can follow that up.
Yeah,
and,
I simply
and go
wouldn't.
up
I'd
from
just
there.
stop.
It's
Start a new band. Just
yeah, 100%. No joke.
Keep all the same members. Just completely change your name and just call it a new project.
We've spoken about this. 4 albums. No band puts out anything after
5
4
great albums.
Is great. So you do 4 albums, change the name. Think about it.
You know what? To be fair, when you actually think about a life cycle of a band and how sustainable, I guess, attitudes can change, because we'll call it on a 2-year life cycle. Yeah, so you call 4 albums in a 2-year life cycle. What? So 8 years.
Yep.
In 8 years, a lot changes in 8 years. Like a lot, your mind changes, your musical attitude changes, the way you approach music changes, the way you approach writing changes. And when you actually think about it, a lot of people get the shits after the fourth, maybe like the 4th album is when they start getting the shits, and come album 5, the old school fans from the first 3 albums are pretty much done.
Yeah, they don't want to hear the new shit, and nobody wants to hear the 5th album. Nobody's going to go out looking for that. Like,
no old fans anyway.
know.
No real old fans.
You know what? You know what I think it is though. I think this is something that I've mentioned before for a few bands, where they get to sort of that like 5th or 6th album in their career, and by that stage, they've figured out. For most people, they've dialed in their sound, they've dialed in their formula. So like, I look at it, I go, okay, Disturbed, like their first three or four albums, I'm like, each album was a bit different, each album was whatever, and after that,
it just that different. Come on.
I look.
They were different enough.
I was a big fan of that. They had different. Each album had different vibes. Like obviously, The Sickness is a lot darker than Believe, and I think 10,000 Fists is kind of like a middle ground between the two, and had a bit. So there's different things there as well. But then, even someone like Machine Head, Lamb of God, Devil Driver, a lot of these bands, they were sort of
Trivium.
There was degrees of innovation and change, and like doing something a bit different while still having the core elements there. And then after by album 5 or 6, it feels like they're kind of everything's kind of a core element by that point, and they're not really bringing much in the way of new ideas or evolution to their sound.
Well, and they can't.
It's those are the ones that like. That's that they know that works, and by that time they're so good at writing their sound
yeah,
that it becomes stale.
Yeah.
And like just washed out. It's like you're not writing anything innovative and new, which is why people fell in love with you. It's just like,
and unless you're gonna do a Metallica and completely go for major shifts in your sound, which I will argue,
credit to them for doing it.
I will argue that Metallica is the biggest of the big four because they moved away from thrash. The other three other bands stayed in that sort of lane, which is fine. They're welcome to do that if they like, but Metallica got as big as they did because they moved out of that space, as you know, to experiment and try different things.
But also, don't you think that Metallica would be a better band overall if after the Black Album they went, "Oh, James, you clearly want to be a cowboy for a bit. Maybe you go do a solo album. Go do your Mama Said. Go do your Load and Reload, and then we'll come back and do Death Magnetic." And yeah, that's it. That's kind of it.
Look, maybe,
like
quite possibly, and that, you know, maybe the, you know, some of their more old school fans wouldn't be as cranky with the band if they'd approached it that way, right?
Yeah.
What I will say,
I think of the poster child.
I will say is I think that Saint Anger gets way too much hate, and if an up and coming band had released Saint Anger with better production, with some different production choices, if an up and coming band had released Saint Anger, they would have been hailed as being ahead of their years, and they would have like rocketed to a higher position in the industry a lot faster than.
Okay, this podcast is going to go for a lot longer now. But me and Rowan have spoken about this for hours, like coming back from shows. We've talked about Saint Anger, and genuinely, we think that the only thing that they did truly wrong was the length. If you take some of those songs with their riffs and shit, just shorten them from fucking 7 minutes to 3.
Yep.
They'd be good songs.
Yep. I agree.
They tried to step into the prog
problems.
space way too much with the length of their songs.
No. Like Metallica fucking ruined metal. And I say this as as a music director at a metal station. Like, dude, your song does not need to be the exact length of Master of Puppets. That's a good song, but not all songs are that good. Doesn't need to be 7.5 minutes, 8.5 minutes long. You're wasting my time.
Metallica was they were like the band for me that I was super obsessed with for a very, very long time.
Same here.
And the most recent album, I just can't, like, Lux Eterna, great.
Best drum sound.
That's a nice, like, it's fast, it's short, sharp, it's there. Everything else on the album.
Basically Diamond Head.
Everything else on the album to me just feels overlong. It feels like it wastes too much time on repeating stuff unnecessarily, and
it's tedious.
I think so.
I could not be bothered to listen to the last 2 Metallica albums
I think,
at all.
Look, Death Magnetic and Hardwired, I think there's some really, really good stuff on there. Spit Out the Bone of Hardwired is one of my favorite Metallica songs in a very, very long time. But yeah, I agree. Like, but I mean, you know, ultimately they've earned the right to be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. But I agree that there's a lot of waffling in some of their songs, and especially Saint Anger with a few tweaks. Could
work.
Could absolutely
work. And just to bring it back a couple of steps to the like 4 album thing, and like keeping that like artistic integrity, if any band or whoever actually has it. I think that a really good example of like 4 albums, drop it, go do something else. Rage Against the Machine going into Audio Slave is like exactly that. Like, peak, kill it, move on.
Yep. It was really good to get Chris Cornell sort of back into that band sense again without a guitar, and see him have space without a guitar, and have other people do the sort of the guitar writing and stuff like that. I mean, that first album is just so iconic, man, from Audio Slave. It's just
I will say though, I think Rage Against the Machine released one good album 3 times.
Yeah, but it's a good album.
Like it's a
fucking good album.
Obviously, take the covers album out of it. but all their originals albums, you could take those songs, put them in a randomizer to group them into 3 random groups, and you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. All that
That's how
much.
I feel about Disturbed.
All that much. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I would agree with that
you
with
could say,
Rage too. Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm not saying that necessarily as a
No.
criticism of the band. It's just their sound and their production was very, you know, fairly
Narrow.
consistent across them, and they had a vibe and a sound, and that kind of was a moment in time. But I agree, like the evolution into Audio Slave was like such a great fucking step, and yeah, it's a great example of being able to evolve and do something different there. Moving it on though, because this is getting this is really dragging on a bit.
Sorry.
And Anger, man, it's what it does.
That's okay.
That's what it's all about.
You brought up Saint Anger, not us.
No,
We love
that's
Stone.
fine. That's fine. We love, you know, we love being able to get into these conversations with people.
That's what it's all about.
All right, and the last question, we get a bit sappy at the end here. What are you most grateful for about your involvement in music?
The boys.
Yeah.
Playing
we're doing this for our best friends.
with like every single time. I've never really been nervous getting on stage because to me, I've always just gone. I get to go play with, like, hang out with my 2 best mates, doing something that we fucking love, and I'm just there to have fun with. Like, well, we've started focusing more on crowds and shit like that, but to begin with, it was always just I'm just here to have fun with my best mates. And the lifelong friendship that has come from, like, this guy, as gross as he looks, and as much as I ignore his phone calls when he's fucking constantly calling me trying to talk for ages about some business shit, I know that at the end of the day, if we needed anything from each other, like, we are 100% there for each other. And I've got other mates that I'm close with, but nothing like these 2 fuckers that I play with. And being able to do that for however long, even doesn't matter what comes from it. I know I've had brilliant fucking times with these guys. Like, we did a 15-hour video shoot the other day, and it was a 15-hour day, and not a second of it was tedious or shit or boring or anything. It was all just like, we were tired by the end of it, but we still just didn't want to go home because I have to wait again until I see these guys.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Right?
Yeah, I can't say much more than that, man. Like, we're having the most, like, right now, we're having the most fun we've ever had in our fucking lives with our best mates. Like, we can't ask for more. This is what it's about for us. Like, we're pretty much married to each other at this point. I think legally, actually. Like, I wouldn't change it for anything. I love these boys. Love them.
That's awesome. And this is the thing, like, people that, you know, this is the thing where we're like, you know, partners don't understand it a lot of the time, you know. Like, I mean, if they've been there from the start, once they've been there for a while, they kind of, you know, they start to get it, right? But you know, if you, like, start seeing someone and they are, like, you know, learning about your band and the relationship that you have with your bandmates, it's like the connections that you build with these people is, it's, you know, you're metaphorically in the trenches with these people. Like, you're traveling for ages. You're, you know, if there's a shit experience, you're all going through it together and you're helping each other through it. You know, when you're on the road and equipment breaks, you're working together to find a solution for it. If, you know, car breaks down, fuck, all right, how do we fix this? How do we fix this issue? You know, the ups and downs that you get to experience together is the kind of camaraderie that is not like that I think more people need in their life. And it's especially guys, like, you talk about the male loneliness epidemic, start a band. Start a fucking band, because you will find people and you will form connections like you have never had before.
Pick up an
Start a
instrument,
band
learn
with
how to
people
sing.
you like.
Yeah. Well, no, even if you have to start off with doing it with people that you don't like, just to find other people that you do like. Just get your foot in the door. Just start
But yeah,
creating.
it's a way. Yeah, I 100% think it's being in bands and going up and down the roads with people like that. You do form those kind of connections, and it's amazing. We always love to see it. So thank you very, very much
great
for that one, guys. We really appreciate you taking us through the quick question quarter. I promise, look, to the viewers, let us know. Do you like when we let things get a bit more tangential and kind of go off and these get a bit thing, or do you want us to just keep it, condensed? Because we can go either way on it, honestly.
Yeah,
we really
could just make it's just like 2 podcasts then.
Yeah, 2 double podcasts a week. All right, thank you very, very much for that, guys. If you like this video, everybody that's watched it this far, firstly, thank you for watching this far. But if you like the video, give it a like. If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. I have been Raf with my good friend Kyle, aka the Beer Buddy, as well as Rowan and Josh from Fist. Go and check them out. We got all the links down in the socials. They're going to be releasing a ton of cool stuff this year, so you'll want to be on top of that. And if they announce a show in your area, go and fucking see them, because it looks like a damn good time. And I'm going to be doing that the next time they make their way up to Brizzy. But that's all we've got for you today. Stay tuned on the channel tomorrow for Get in the Bin, and we will catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really hope you had a good time. If you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell down there. It helps the channel grow. We are still a fairly young channel, and we like to try and grow our audience all over the world. We do also, for those of you who are interested, have a Patreon. It's just a couple of bucks a month. At the moment, you get all the videos early and ad-free, but we are working on ways to increase the value of that and make it a bit more enticing. So don't forget to keep an eye out and check back on what's going on over there. Other than that, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.